Pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. Die. Hello everyone. This is just a follow-up to yesterday's coding video. Here is the version of the Doom game that Flaming Heart Fox and I were working on. This one does have the collision detection. As you can see, I'm dead. But I wanted to show you the code that Claude 3.5 gave when I first asked it to do collision detection. This is a cautionary tale. So here's the code. Here's the for loop that cycles through all the enemies. And here's the collision detection routine within the move enemy function. And that cycles through every enemy. So it's a nested for loop. That's not very efficient because it will be checking collisions between enemies that it's already checked for. So I'm interested to see what Claude thinks of that. I mean, there's an obvious solution. Let's see if Claude can find it. You're absolutely right, and I apologize for missing that inefficiency. Aww. Here we go. Check collisions with other enemies that haven't been processed yet. For other enemy in enemies I+1, and I is defined up here. Oh, and it shifted the first for loop into the move enemies function. Interesting. Okay. There we go. That's updated. It should run exactly the same. And perhaps for a little game like this, the nested for loop isn't a big deal, but it was bugging me. There we go. Ooh, hang on. That's interesting. Ah, yes, the collision detection is only between enemies and the enemy and the player. So the player can still move into the enemies. Anyway, that doesn't matter. One thing I wanted to try was seeing what would happen if I uploaded an image with the coding prompt. Here's what I tried. Using Python 3 and Pygame, create a graphic adventure game with these parameters. A roguelike game, it should look like the image I am uploading. Movement of the player is not smooth, it is step tile based. Movement keys are W, A, D, X for up, left, down, right, and then Q, E, Z, C for the diagonals. The player is exploring a forest. There is also a castle with a moat and other terrain features. Sometimes a monster will appear nearby the player. If the player moves into the monster, a simple combat will occur. During combat, the player can press H for a head attack, B for a body attack, and L for a limb attack. You can make up all the other details and encounters, make it an RPG-like experience with items and treasures. And the image is a ZX Spectrum game I used to love when I was a kid, called The Orb, or The Search for the Orb, or The Crystal Orb. So this is the image I uploaded. Here's the resulting code. Here we are. So how does it compare? It's kind of copied it. There's a castle with a moat. I'm this white square here. I can move around to some extent. I'll go down. Oh, there we go. It's done WSAD. That's not what I asked for. Not much happens when I move up to this red square, which I assume is supposed to be an enemy. So a few tweaks later, correcting the controls and sprucing up the display a bit, I ended up with this. So I asked it for the lower third to be where the stats are printed. It's given us health, strength, and experience. It asked for the trees to be more tree-like, so that's quite sweet. It's corrected the controls, so I can move diagonally down, left, right. And there's a red square. Let's go attack it. Monster nearby. Press H, B, or L to attack. So head, body, or limb strikes. And it's a very simple little combat system there. You defeated the monster. Hooray! Can't go over the moat, can't get into the castle. That's okay. It's a start. It's a prototype. I want to make sure that this isn't just coincidentally similar. So I'm going to try another image and we'll see what happens. So for this experiment, I think we'll load up one of the best ZX Spectrum games ever made. Right, we've got the ZX Spin, and we are going to play Advanced Lawnmower Simulator. Ooh, which lawnmower to pick? So we just want a screen capture from the main game. Here we go. Oh yeah. It's actually quite satisfying. We'll get about here and then take a screenshot. Hi, Claude. Please make a Python game using pygame. I'm not going to give it any information this time. I'm just going to upload the image and tell it to make a game that looks like that image. I leave all the details to you on game design. Here we go. Let's see what happens. It has identified a simple pixel art scene with a house, sun, and what appears to be different textures for grass and ground. Let's create a basic game that incorporates these elements. Or did it not identify the lawnmower? Let's have a look. Define colors, create a simple player, game loop. Move the player, so we've got left and right keys. Draw the scene, draw the sun, draw the ground, draw the grass, draw a house. That's it. I'm not expecting much from this. Right. Here we go. We've got a house and a sun, more or less in the right position. It's very blue, and the grass is not very green. But I can see what it was trying to do. Alright, let's tell it that it is actually supposed to be an advanced lawnmower simulator, and we'll see how it changes it. Well, it's looking a bit more like the original image. Go left and right. The edges block me. It's really crap. There's no game here. But that's how it goes with this. You need to start with something simple and build up from there. Anyway, that concludes the test. It is analyzing the image and trying to reproduce it in the code. So that is very interesting. Okie dokie, one more test I want to try with this image uploading. See what it can do with a more text-based game. So this game is called Great Britain Limited. I believe it's a game I used to play on the BBC Micro when I was at school. And I had loads of fun driving inflation up to over 100%. Bags of fun. We'll see if Claude can write an economics simulator. Alright, I have no idea if this is going to work. Please use Python to write an economics simulator called Run the British Economy. The layout should look like the uploaded image. Use pygame. It is a turn-based game. Each turn is 1 year. The player is the Prime Minister and must make decisions about the British economy, such as taxes and policies. Each turn, the game asks questions about such things, and the player inputs a response or value in response. Tautology, never mind. Then run complex calculations to find what realistically happens to the British economy. Use values such as GDP, inflation, etc. Use the text in the uploaded image to get an idea. Boom. Game variables: year, GDP, inflation, unemployment, population. Nice. I'm starting with 55 million people. Unemployment is 1.3 million. Okay. Draw text, routine, update economy, get user input, main game loop. Where is my complex mathematics? Update economy. Random. Very complex. Enter new tax rate. Distinct lack of statistics on the screen here. Let's make the tax rate 50%. Enter government spending in millions. I don't know. 10. I'm not getting any output here. The statistics should be displayed on the screen. Just like in the uploaded image. Yes, you should have paid closer attention to the layout in the image. All right. Oh, look at that. It's actually copying the text. Right Honourable WS. That's from the World of Spectrum text. All right. This looks better. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So it's not really much like this screen, but it is identifying and copying the text. Look at this. Country profile, that's in red. Country profile in red. Press enter to continue. Okay, so we've got an exchange rate. Is it just copying this text? Account balance. Those aren't actual game statistics, are they? It's just copying the text. Let's have a look at the code. So looking at the game variables, we can see it set the balance to the same figure that's in the screenshot. But what are all these other numbers? If we go to display statistics, we can see it's literally just copying this text from the screenshot. Everything from country profile down, VAT, income, excise duties. They have no game function. It's just copying the text. That's fine. Here's something that's bothering me. Look at all these global variables here and here. Or it should just make like a game class and store all the game variables in the class. That's an exercise for another day. This was just a test to see what it would do with text. And, yeah, it picks some of it up and displays it. If you're just making a prototype, that could be pretty useful. Looking at the game code, here's what the simulation does with your two inputs, spending and tax rate. It updates the GDP. That doesn't feed back into the other game variables. So just for funsies, I thought I'd ask Claude to improve the simulation and implement a game class while it's at it. Here's what it comes up with. And it looks like the update economy section does actually use GDP to change inflation and unemployment rather than just modifying it by a random value. And down in display statistics, rather than those dummy values, it is actually using the game values. So income from taxes is now displayed as a percentage of tax income, for example. Let's plug it in and see what happens. All right, here we go. So income from taxes, they look more sensible now. Tax rate is going to be 100%. Government spending, none. And we can see it's updated things here and there. All right. Interesting.